by the federal government to tell the Native Americans to get off their own land. I'm excited to have two very incredible guests on the live show, and this is David Avocado Wolfe,
Thanks.
6-time bestseller, 9-time bestseller.
9-time bestseller, but that's not really, I mean, what's more important to me, and I think what's important to everybody, is just keeping the education out there, and this is really a battle about education. We're trying to educate the public about what's happening, the toxic spills that are being covered up. This is a stand against the toxicity of the petroleum industry and the chemical industry. And we've got some momentum. It's great and it's powerful. And we're seeing in front of all of our eyes the violence on one side and the peaceful protest on our side. And it's great. It's a message to the world. And what an incredible message, the Native Americans, that we have sided with the Native Americans. We're like, this, enough is enough. And by the way, America and to the world, enough is enough. That's enough chemical spills, enough toxicity, enough disease, enough cancers, enough leukemias. It's over. We're done with it. Better Living Through Chemistry failed, didn't work. So now we've got to go back another way. We can definitely do a lot more wind and solar. We were talking about $3.75 billion on this project alone. What if that was into solar and wind power and hydrogen and compressed air and other amazing forms of energy that we could use other than this toxic form of old, completely archaic
Obsolete.
and
Obsolete.
It's
technology.
obsolete and dirty.
You know what's interesting is the Native Americans, when they did their press conference, it was amazing because they talked about reusable energy and living off the grid in these camp type situations. They called this the prototype.
It's a prototype. Absolutely. I was scraping. We were in a storm over here. You know, hardcore blizzard, and we've been through an intense blizzard out there, and we're scraping off all those solar panels and trying to get just a little bit more power going on inside. And that's how we can have a sustainable future, rather than burning more fuel and more oil and all that. But I do want to mention, we've got John Bolenbaugh here, and this guy's an environmental hero. He's saving your butt even if you don't even know about him. He's out there fighting big oil and doing an amazing job. In fact, I'm so stoked to be actually with him right now, because I was just on his website today, DAPLlies.com. DAPLLIES, that's 2 L's.com. And just going through his life story and his videos. Tell us a little bit about your background. It's so incredible.
I don't know if I can right now. I'm just a normal guy, and I saw the biggest cover-up in United States history, and I did something about it. And I thought I'd be dead by now, and I poisoned my body looking for oil, and I just hopefully what I did helped save the world. And you guys are going to help me get
Get the word out.
Well, I'll get my body clean again.
Yeah.
Because the longer I live now, I'm learning that I can go to other oil spills. I've been to 4 oil spills now, and I've proven that this happens everywhere. And the goal is to get the word out about why. It's for your mom, your dad that doesn't understand why you're here. It's to show why we need to stop these pipelines. That they're foreign. That they always leak. That there's no way to have a safe pipeline. That we actually export more oil than we use on a yearly basis. We don't need this oil. We need to fix the old pipes, and we need to go to alternative energy. So I'm sorry to get emotional, but this is historic here. All colors, all religions. It's amazing what I'm seeing here. Everybody I see, 18-year-old young little girls, women that are standing and getting beat up by police and getting arrested and shot with rubber bullets. And all of these people on the front line are heroic. They're giving up their freedom. They may go to prison in the future because they're being falsely charged by Morton County, or they're being shot with these rubber bullets. And some of them, one girl lost her arm. This is serious, and so we need to get the word out. Please, I beg of you, just share, please.
In terms of the oil industry, and this is a discussion point that I think we can all handle, I want to talk a little bit about the industry and the subsidies. The subsidization of big oil into the military-industrial complex, into the federal budget, and the fact that it might not even be able to survive in the free market system.
That's right. It's not going to survive the free market system. That's why these guys are gripping and clutching so hard. This type of project is backed by 38 banks. Dakota Access Pipeline is 38 banks. You don't know their names. They're nameless. They're not responsible because you don't even know who they are. So we've had guys go in and research who in the world is running this Dakota Access Pipeline at the terminal complex down in Illinois. They finally figured out there's 38 banks involved in this. 38 banks, and they're your banks. Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank, Scotia Bank, and the list goes on and on. We've got everybody, all of us, everybody who's listening to this right now, pull your money out of the big banks, put them into credit unions, and very important, I'm just going to say it, put your money into gold you possess and silver you possess, and get out of this paper plastic currency because it's not worth anything, has no intrinsic value.
Where can we get the list of those banks?
The list of those banks is available on numerous websites. I'd recommend going to Democracy Now! And also yesmagazine.com or .org. It's my friend Ocean Robbins over there at Yes, and they've actually not only listed the banks, they've also listed who's running the banks and who to write the letters to and who to send the emails to. Let's deluge them with, we're not going to take it anymore, we don't want this anymore. And let me tell you something, I mentioned this to you before about the oil pipeline industry. What they do is they fund these projects and then they sell them off. Then they sell them again. Then they sell them again. 5 years down the road, that pipeline's already gone through its fourth owner. So who's going to be responsible if the thing breaks down? And who knows how it was actually built because it's already gone through all these different owners. Right. And so when there's a problem or a leak, it's very difficult to figure it out and then clean it up. And I wanted to ask you this, John. This is something that came up with people who don't know anything about this. So like, well, it leaked 28,000 gallons. It can be cleaned up. I mean, who cares? I get that. You get that.
No, it can't be cleaned up.
Tell us.
So they said 844,000 gallons spilled into our river. They lied. We have people that reported that they smelled the oil, 3 days before they even reported it. So it could be 3 million. But the thing is, they said they cleaned up 1.1 million, which is 300,000 more than they even said spilled. And the EPA says there's still 100,000 gallons in our river, and they're saying you can eat the fish. They have tumors. They're saying that they want you to eat the fish because it's a healthy diet to eat these tumored fish, full of oil. Our kids are swimming in it. Not my kids. I know better. And I try to stop people from getting in that river because it's just it's so poisonous. One drop will sit inside. It's tarry. It's like peanut butter. And it doesn't go away. And it sits in their body and it's going to cause cancer. And we have 7 kids with leukemia in my local school system. That's just the ones I know about. It caused havoc on my body. My ankles are hurting, my kidneys messed up, my daughter was born with a deformity, my dog died, my uncle died, my stepdad had cancer cut out of his face. That's just my family. My cat's got a tumor on its face right now. The whole community was poisoned because it's not necessarily the oil that poisons people, and it does because it gets in the water system, but they thin out this peanut butter style oil with all these benzene, toluene, hydrogen sulfide, methane, propane, hexane, and all these
carcinogens.
Oh yeah, and it thins it out. So when there's a spill, it's in the air. We breathe it in. It gets on your apple that you're going to eat, and that's what's poisoning people. And I don't know what's going to happen. It's only been 6 years, and we have girls that were pregnant at the time that had miscarriages. People that were puking so hard that they're actually they had 3 liters of blood in their stomach and they almost died. I don't even know all the sick people because the ones that were really sick, they actually signed gag orders and got paid a lot of money. So I'm just trying to investigate and interview as many people as possible and tell you about what's going on.
And can you just tell us a little bit about...
So there's three of us right now, and we're all kind of Great Lakes bound, Midwest. Raised in the Missouri, raised on Lake Michigan, raised in Michigan with the Great Lakes. The water basins that are here, the normal person is wondering, are they polluted? Is the lead in the water? What's in the water? Are they being affected? How definitively can we say yes?
Oh, the waterways are polluted. These pipelines, if there's less than 1.5% pressure, and let's say it's 1% that leaks out, every day it can leak and you'll never know. No alarms will go off. They say it's safe. It's not safe. It always leaks. They use really cheap pipe. It's not, it can't be welded properly. It gets little pinholes in it. It rusts. Tar sands oil is very abrasive, and so that's why these pipelines leak and break. And It's completely poisoning our water. I mean, it
System.
poisoned Chicago. People in Chicago are drinking this poisonous water. And I don't know, what do we do about it?
The list of toxic ingredients that's in our water supply is every toxic ingredient. Just think about that. Every single toxic thing that's ever been produced, pharmaceutical byproducts, toluene, benzene, all kinds of carcinogens, crude oil, gasoline, diesel, every single one of them is found in our water supply. And it's going to get worse until you and I stop it. And that's why we're here. We're here to stop it. Somebody needs to say enough is enough, it's over. We're going to do something else. We're going to do something different. And the way we do that is we have to pressure all the parties involved, including Enbridge, who was involved in the Kalamazoo spill.
And here.
Yeah. And including Sunoco, including Phillips 66, including all those 38 banks. They need to hear about it from us, and they need to hear about it in a big way.
On the planet, there's a humanitarian crisis. And I'm going to mention that we don't have anybody that's Native American right now on this panel except...
I'm Blackfoot and Cherokee.
And do you have a little, David?
No.
I'm Indian.
To me, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. What matters to me is humanity. I'm fighting for your kids and your grandkids. I just had 2 little girls, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. So I used to fight for all of you. But now I'm fighting for my future, for my lineage. I'm fighting for everybody now. You know, I'm risking my life to do this. I've had so many death threats. But it doesn't stop me because this is bigger than me. I'm just a little tiny ant in this big, huge world. And the world's going to keep going. But we're not going to be here to see it. Humanity will be gone. The earth will cleanse itself. And we just won't be a part of it. So we have to do something now to fix that. There shouldn't be any racism, period.
I'll add to that, like what they're doing with prayer and ceremony is intensely Gandhian. It is what they're lining up and saying across those lines is, we pray for you. You guys who are pipelining, we pray for you.
Yeah.
And it hurts to watch them be sprayed with water hoses under 20 degrees and just have them be so destroyed on this front.
This is gross, it's terrifying, it's disgusting, but what we were talking about is, first comes the cavalry and the conquistadors, right? This is Native America for 500 years. Then comes the Christian civilization that pushes everybody out and says, well, you get me, maybe we'll give you this spot, but we're going to break our word again and again and again. And by the way, my experience with doing 50 projects on Native American reservations all over North America with our nonprofit Fruit Tree Planting Foundation has been that every single one of those tribes has told us every time the United States government, the state governments, the county governments have broken their word constantly, always.
Yep, they do.
Yep, it's nonstop. I mean, so we come in there and say, oh, we're going to do this project. And they go, you're not going to do this project. They didn't even believe us. Even after 50 projects, they're still a little bit sketchy about it. That's how many times this civilization that's come in here has broken their word to the natives.